the new iPhone 6. The new iPhone could be one of the most pivotal devices in the Cupertino brand's history. With the iPhone 5 and iPhone 5C simple updates to previous models, there's a lot of pressure heaped on the iPhone 6. As per usual, the internet is awash with rumor, speculation and downright lies over this next-generation handset, which is why we spend our time trawling through each nugget of info, debating its merits and curating it into this easy-to-read hub for all things iPhone 6. iOS 7, Apple's new look for iPhone and iPad. Some of you might have been expecting the iPhone 6 to have debuted in 2013, but given the iPhone's history from the 3G onwards, there's always been a half-step S model before the next numbered iPhone. We were never going to get the 6 until 2014. In fact, it will technically be the iPhone 8 by that point. But hey, who's counting these days? One thing is for sure, with the Samsung Galaxy S5 and Sony Xperia Z2 just around the corner, plus our full HTC One M8 review now out and wild showing a truly stunning phone, Apple will need to be on its game with a new handset, and many believe a bigger screen is simply a must. Cut to the chase. What is it? A major revision of the iPhone including entire design. When is it out? September 2014, maybe as early as June for a larger iPhone. What will it cost? Expect premium pricing for a premium smartphone. iPhone 6 release date. The iPhone 6 release date will be in 2014, although exactly when that will be in the year is still a little unclear. Here's what we think is most likely to happen. At WWDC in June this year we'll see the obvious release of iOS 8, but also a larger screened iPhone, as Apple looks to bring itself to the foreign Asian markets, and rivaling the likes of the Galaxy Note 3. We'd have usually given this kind of rumor a wide berth, but multiple reports have spoken of a larger device from Apple at the June event, so we are starting to give them some credence. At the very least, Apple is definitely testing it, but may not bring it to market. The rivals: HTC One M8, Sony Xperia Z2, Samsung Galaxy S5. After that, Apple will launch the iPhone 6 in September, along with the iWatch and the first view of iOS 8, to allow it to both bring a new product to market as well as keeping its schedule safe. This is backed up by KDB Daewoo Securities, which does have a decent record in Apple early leaks. Suggestions of both sizes arriving September could also hold water, but only if Apple keeps both products under the iPhone name. If it splits the larger device under a new name, we can't see iPad being a thing. Then a June and September launch could make sense. Apple has launched the last few iPhones at a special event in September, so the smart money is on September 2014 for the iPhone 6's arrival, but won't be the only mobile hardware we see from the firm this year. After trawling through all the iPhone 6 rumors, we kicked our render machine into gear and came up with a concept of what we'd like Apple's 8th generation flagship smartphone to look like. Lost home button. According to Business Insider, of the many iPhone 6 prototypes Apple has made, one has a giant Retina Plus IGZO display and a new form factor with no home button. Gesture control is also possibly included. It will surely include Apple's new Touch ID fingerprint tech though. The Retina Plus Sharp IGZO display would have a 1080p Full HD resolution. It's also been widely reported that Apple could introduce two handset sizes, as it seeks to compete with the plethora of Android devices now on the market, with both being a lot thinner thanks to big improvements in LED backlight technology to reduce the thickness. We reckon there will be two screen sizes and resolutions, as mentioned above. A Full HD display makes perfect sense for the iPhone 6, especially if it grows to a 4.7-inch screen as mooted, and the iPhone will push things even further, to preserve the Retina experience on a larger display. In fact, the 4.7-inch iPhone 6 has been tipped again alongside a larger 5.7-inch model, as part of Apple's double attack on the market following the 5 and 5C. The same source claims the iPhone 6 in both its sizes will take design cues from the iPhone 5C and the 7th Gen iPad Nano, which launched in 2012. The larger screen size has also been tipped at 5.5 inches however, and with Japan Display announcing a 5.5-inch Quad HD screen, it's put the rumor mill into overdrive. While we'd love to see the Quad HD resolution adorn the iPhone 6, the fact it's such a great leap from the sub-720p Retina display on the 5 and 5C makes it seem very unlikely. In other areas, patents show that Apple has been thinking about magical morphing technology that can hide sensors and even cameras. Will it make it into the iPhone 6? Probably not. That said, there's still a small possibility of the iPhone 6 sporting a flexible wraparound display after more patents were uncovered, but we reckon that's more likely to feature on the iPhone 7 or 8 instead. Back in September last year, rumors pointed to a 6-inch display, with further talk of a phablet-sized 6-inch iPhone claiming it might arrive as early as May 2014, which jives nicely with the above chat on an iPhoblet. iPhone 6 casing. It's been suggested that there could even be 3 size variants of the new iPhone. Check out these mocked-up images by artist Peter Zijic, and that makes sense seeing as the iPhone 5C will need a sequel. He calls the handsets iPhone 6 mini, iPhone 6 and iPhone 6 XL. These look rather like the iPhone 5C variant though. However, as ZDNet rightly points out, different size variants aren't exactly easy to just magic out of thin air. If the iPhone 6 doesn't have a liquid metal body, then we'll probably never see one. You can expect more premium metal to come your way with the iPhone 6 too, and Apple patents for liquid metal 3D printing suggest there may be a new way to form the sultry chassis on the new iPhone. Writing in early January 2014, MacRumors quotes a batch of liquid metal patents reportedly filed by Apple employees. This has been doing the rounds for a while though, and apparently it's a tricky material to work with. The chassis could well be the thinnest yet, thanks to that LED backlight we mentioned earlier, with word that Apple will slim down this Velt 7.6mm 5 body for the iPhone 6, and if leaked images of the phone's case are legit, the handset may well be shockingly slender. With talk of larger screens, we can expect the body of the iPhone 6 to grow, and leaked schematic designs claim the 4.7-inch iPhone 6 will be 66mm wide and 7.0mm thick. The 5 is 58.6 x 7.6mm. The larger 5.7-inch handset is said to be 77mm in width and a Super Svelte 6.7mm in depth. The Galaxy Note 3 is 79.2 x 8.3mm. These super slim dimensions have been given a little more firepower, as photos supposedly showing off the design of the iPhone 6 reveals a slender smartphone. An unbreakable display. Here's an interesting one. Apple looks like it signed a big deal to use a lot of sapphire glass in its phones, with the company buying up the technology to use the super hard technology for its displays. Sapphire is already used by the Cupertino brand for its touch ID sensor cover and the camera glass, so extending it out makes a lot of sense. Whether it will be cost-effective remains to be seen, but given iPhones are one of the top devices for broken screen repair, reducing this problem would go down nicely. However, there's an issue here: it's really expensive, and as such seems like it would bump up the cost of the phone too much for Apple, even though its customer base expects to pay a premium. Canonical CEO thinks that the Cupertino firm has been buying up swathes of the material. Could this be for the iWatch? Seems more likely than an entire phone screen. Apple even has a patent for an aerophobic anti-smudge coating that works on sapphire crystal, to ensure the surface doesn't get covered in grubby fingerprints. Exactly what you need, if you're going to cover the front of a phone with it. And it could even self-heal, with Apple trying to patent a special screen coating that could heal to dramatically enhance the appearance of the iPhone 6, as well as other Apple products. And what's this? NFC in an iPhone? About time too. Well, that's what iDownloadBlog reckons, quoting Jefferies analyst Peter Misek. Many Android phones now boast NFC, and Apple appears to have been happy to be left behind here, so we can't see it suddenly rocking the contactless technology when it appears to be on the wing. And what about a bit more space to sling our content? We've already seen a 128GB iPad, so why not a 128GB iPhone 6? Yes, it'll cost a fortune, but high-spending early adopters love this stuff.